Imagine you cannot die. Not imagine you live forever, that's a fairy tale. Imagine something worse. Imagine that every time you should die, reality splits and you always wake up on the surviving side. You do not get to choose, you do not get to stop, you just keep going, and everyone around you does not. You know what death is, or you think you do. Your heart stops, your brain shuts down, everything goes dark. That is the story, and you have never had a reason to question it. But at the smallest scale of reality, nothing ends that cleanly. When physicists look at the particles that make up everything, including you, those particles do not pick one outcome. They exist in every possible state at once. They do not collapse into a single result until something forces a measurement. And in 1957, a physicist named Hugh Everett asked the question nobody wanted to answer. What if nothing forces a measurement? What if every possible outcome actually happens and the universe splits to make room for all of them? That idea became the many worlds interpretation. Not a fringe theory, not a metaphor, one of the most seriously debated frameworks in modern physics, and its logic leads somewhere that Everett himself never publicly followed. It leads to you, and to the question of whether your death is even possible. Here's where it gets personal. In 1998, a thought experiment took Everett's idea and pointed it directly at your survival. It's called quantum suicide, and before you react to that name, understand what it actually proposes. Picture a device linked to a quantum event, something with a genuinely random 50-50 outcome. If the particle goes one way, nothing happens. If it goes the other way, the device ends your life instantly. You activate it. In the standard view of physics, you have a 50% chance of dying. Simple. But in the many worlds view, something else happens. The universe splits. In one branch, the device fires and you are gone. In the other branch, it does not fire and you survive. Both branches are equally real. Both outcomes actually happen, and you are only ever inside one of them. From your perspective, from inside your own consciousness, you can only ever experience the branch where you survived. The version of you that died is real, but that version has no experience, no awareness, no continuation. The you that is aware of being you always finds itself in the surviving branch. Activate the device again, another split. You survive again, and again, and again. From the outside, anyone watching would eventually see you die, but from the inside, you never do. This is the trap of quantum immortality, and it is not the trap you expect. You hear immortality and you think of a gift, living forever, seeing the future, watching civilizations rise, but that is not what this is. This is a locked door with no handle on the inside. If quantum immortality is real, you do not get to choose it, you do not get to enjoy it, you do not even get to confirm it, because the only proof would be dying and failing to die, and you can never observe your own failure to die. You are trapped inside an experiment you cannot verify from within. And it gets worse. Immortality does not mean invulnerability. You still age, you still suffer, you still lose people. In fact, you lose everyone. In your branch, the branch where you keep surviving, the people around you are not guaranteed the same outcome. They die, one by one, and you keep going, not because you're special, not because the universe chose you, but because you are the only version of you that is still here to notice. That's the trap. You think the worst thing that can happen to you is dying. Quantum immortality says the worst thing might be that you cannot. Now think about something smaller than a near-death experience. Think about this morning. You woke up at a specific time, you took a specific route, you made 100 small decisions before noon, and not one of them felt important. But under many worlds, every one of those decisions created a branch, and in some of those branches, the cascade was different. A different departure time, a different intersection, a different version of today where something you will never know about went wrong and you weren't there to see the rest of it. You don't need a dramatic brush with death for a branch to end you. You just need one quantum event buried in the noise of an ordinary Tuesday to resolve differently. And that changes the math entirely.
If consciousness can only follow surviving branches, then the branching tree is not random, it's filtered. You are experiencing reality through a survivorship lens you didn't know you were wearing. Every memory you have, every experience that makes up who you are, all of it exists only because you happen to be in the branch where you made it through. You are not living your life. You are living the only version of your life that didn't end, and you have no way to know how many versions already have. This means something disturbing about right now, not about some dramatic moment in your past, about this morning, about the ordinary decisions you made before you started watching this. In some other branch, those decisions went a different way, and you are not there. Someone else is living in a world where you are gone, and neither of you made a choice that felt like it mattered. Your instinct right now is to find the exit, to say this is just an interpretation, not everyone agrees, and you would be right. Most physicists do not accept quantum immortality as literal. The many worlds interpretation itself is one of several competing frameworks with no consensus, and that's precisely what makes this idea so difficult to put down. You cannot test quantum immortality from inside your own experience. The only way to verify it would be to face death and see if you keep surviving, and every survival could be explained by ordinary probability. You would never have proof. You would only have the fact that you were still here. If it's wrong, you will never know, because you will simply die, and that will be that. If it's right, you will also never know, because you will keep going, getting older, getting more alone, watching the people you love leave one by one into branches you cannot follow, and in every one of those branches, someone is mourning you right now. The only version of reality you will ever experience is the one where you are still here, and you will never know if that is a gift or the worst thing that has ever happened to you.